Hello my dear children. We are back to learn new lesson. Lesson number 10. Science lesson clothes. Clothes protect us from bad weathers and cloth is a basic need of human. We are using different types of clothes in different season and you all like to wear different colorful dresses. Yes or no? Yes, obviously, yes. So, my dear children, today we are going to learn more about clothes. You can see in this picture, little girl is observing something. And to learn more, we are going to do one activity. For that, you have to visit a tailor. For stitching clothes, the tailor cuts cloth. Take a piece of cut cloth that he does not need. What do you see at its edge? You will see that cloth or fabric is made by intertwining threads together. Intertwining threads together is called weaving. You can see in this picture, long threads are woven together to make cloth. Where does this thread come from? For this also again we are going to do one activity. Take a wad of cotton wool, pull at it from either side to make it as long as possible. Lay it on your palm and pressing it with the other hand. Roll it in one direction. See my dear children, take a wad of cotton wool, pull at it from either side to make it as long as possible. Lay it on your palm and pressing it with the other hand. Roll it in one direction. Note what happened. You will see that the wad of cotton gets twisted into a long wick. Earlier, a spinning wheel was used to draw yarn from cotton. Nowadays, the same process is carried out on machines. Cloth is made of cotton yarn. Beside cotton, what other material can be used to make clothes? Do you know, my dear children, in order to win independence for our country, Mahatma Gandhi started a people's movement. He called upon them to use only those things that were produced in our country. For this process, he began to use a charkha or spinning wheel to make thread. Charkha mandals were then established nationwide, which gave the message of using only Swadeshi goods. Now we are going to learn about fibers, natural and synthetic. For that, again, we are going to do one activity. Visit a cloth shop, discuss the following point with the owner and make note. In that note, you have to make note of type of cloth, what it is made of, sources of material and where the cloth is made. Types of synthetic fiber. You will have realized that cloth is made of different material. For example, cotton, wool, jute, nylon, rayon, etc. Plants are the sources of some of this material. Some are from other sources. Nylon and rayon are made of a tar like a material. But then what is the sources of tar? Cloth can be woven in two ways. Cloth can be woven in two ways. Sweaters, cap, etc. are woven with the help of knitting needles at home. And number two, handlooms and power looms are used to weave cloth on a large scale. Remember, my dear children, hand looms and power looms are used to weave cloth on a large scale. Okay, so these two methods, cloth can be woven in two types of method. Okay, now again we are going to do one activity. Okay, take clean water in a small bucket, soak the clothes you have worn all day in the bucket. After an hour, take the clothes out of the bucket. Before taking them out, wring them out tightly in the bucket itself. Now observe the water in the bucket. It is the water in the bucket still clean, or do you see any change in the water? Obviously, water become dirty. Okay. So, uh, can you give some reason why clothes get dirty? And for that, you have to make one list. Okay, the list shows that our clothes become dirty for various reasons. That is why it is necessary to clean our clothes. Wearing clean clothes is a good habit. We must always have clean clothes in order to remain healthy and look neat and tidy. Once again, wearing clean clothes is a good habit. Now, various types of soap are used to clean clothes. For example, soap, bars, hmm, detergent powders, liquid soap, etc. Okay, we are using soap, bars, detergent powders, liquid soap, etc. to clean our clothes. What can you use to clean clothes if these substances are not available? Yes, you can see on the picture on the screen. Hingenbait, limestone, washing soda, soap nuts, etc. are used to wash cloth. These are all natural substances. Okay. So, once again, do you still use I'm asking you one question. Do you still use the clothes you wore in the first standard? Obviously, no. If you do not, what clothes do you use now? Why do you not use your old clothes? Why can you not wear a dress now, which was your favorite when you were younger? What happened to clothes that we do not use anymore? You have to you have to ask this all question to yourself, and you have to talk with your parents and your grandparents and ask them what happened to old clothes. Okay, my dear children, all of you have to do this activity. Clothes are durable, my dear children. Therefore, even if they become old, they can still be used. If old clothes are still in a good condition, they can be given to those who need them. Torn clothes can be made into useful articles like quilts or dish clothes, doormats, etc. Old clothes can be used to make new clothes. Threadbare cloths can be pulped and used to make paper. This pulp is used to make paper plates, flowers, etc. It can also be used to make models. Okay, so my dear children, clothes are durable. Therefore, even if they become old, they can still be used. Okay, so my dear children, try to donate your clothes to some other. Okay, now we are going to learn about diversity of clothes. Study the picture. Observe the differences in the different types of clothes. You will see people wearing these types of clothes in your own locality or when you go out of town. Meet these people, obtain information about their clothes and write it in your notebook. Do they wear such clothes all year round? Are any changes made depending on the weather? Are any changes made during festival and other celebrations? There is a diversity in clothing in Maharashtra due to cultural and geographical differences. Considering the climate, people in Maharashtra mainly wear cloth, cotton cloth, okay, because of climate change. There is a diversity in clothing in Maharashtra because of cultural and geographical differences. Okay, once again, you have to do one activity. Gather old as well as recent photographs of your grandparents, parents, and relatives. Ask them when the photographs were taken and write the date behind each. Arrange them according to the year in which they were taken. With the help of this picture, observe how the style of clothing has changed. Find out the reason behind these changes. Okay, all of you have to do this activity, and I have sure that surely you can do this activity. So, my dear children, what we learn in this lesson? Cloth is made from yarn. Yarn may be made from cotton, wool, etc. Clothes become dirty on being used. We must always wear clean clothes. Soaps or natural substances like Rita can be used for washing clothes. Old clothes should not be thrown away. Remember, my dear children, old clothes should not be thrown away. They can be reused. We see diversity in clothing because of cultural and geographical differences. There is a difference in the type of clothing worn in earlier times and those worn today. Okay, so all this point you have to learn carefully and at least try to read this lesson one, okay, one time. So my dear children, at least you have to read this lesson one time, okay, and try to complete exercise. All the best, my dear children.